Hello everyone and welcome back to another Division 2 video. Today I have another very good game for you. I've seen parts of that but not the whole thing between Hypokrass and Espresso. This is again from the group phase now for the Arena Division 2. But before we go into any more details of that, today and tomorrow are the last day of my tournament, or of the sign-up period for my tournament. So if you want to participate, if you have been interested and haven't signed up yet, do it now or at the very latest tomorrow, because after that the tournament's going to start. We could actually use some, especially lower tier players. So if you're a newer player, because at the moment we have 2 brackets basically, with just a few more signups we can make that 3, which I think is much better because we have a lower as a beginner, an intermediate and a pro bracket. Right now it's just a lower and an upper bracket, but yeah, either way it doesn't matter what skill level you have, still sign up if you want to join. So for anyone who doesn't know how it works, I'll explain to you real quick. So basically there is a tier list for this tournament specifically, and then you have kind of like an army group that also has, you know, different tiers, and you have slots with activation points as you can see here. And then yeah, basically from the tier list you can just fill divisions into your army group, and you use your activation points the same as when you build a division really, and that looks something like this. So that's that. So if you're interested in that, and then of course every division you can only play those divisions in your army group for the whole tournament, and every division can be played only once in the whole tournament for you, of course. So just that. So if you're interested, go sign up. Link is in the description down below. Both the link for the sign up and the link for the rule set. Either way, going back to this, so we have Hypokrass and Espresso both on a Maverick income here on Slutsk East, and we have a very interesting matchup with 2nd Panzer versus 78 Sturm. So that is quite exciting actually, and I think we're just not gonna delay this any further. Let's go to the divisions and then let's take a look at the deployments. And we start off with 2nd Panzer by Hypokrass. Now, this division has nothing special to it other than the fact that it has some severe phase locking and free veterancy for everything. So you don't have a single unit in here that is unique. All the units here are found in plenty of other divisions too. But you know, you get free veterancy, and in A phase there is no tanks. You can find light armor in the recon tab, but there's nothing in the tank tab that you can bring in A phase. So basically this division, you know, is a risky pick for this map because you don't have any 2k in A phase, except for the 88s, which you could definitely bring, but Hypokrass decides not to, at least not in A phase. And but you know, so that is part of the issue. Other than that, it's kind of okay, I would argue, especially against 78, because one of the issues with this division, of course, is that if you're relying on Pumas and Pack 40s to do the work for you, and maybe the 88, that sometimes can be a problem on some maps and in some matchups. But 78 being not a super armor-heavy division means that it's kind of okay for 2nd Panzer here. And the other important thing about this division, of course, is because of all the light armor that you get in the recon tab, you could also take some more Pumas if you wanted to, which Hypokrass decides not to. This division can be played very aggressively, rush style, just rushing in with a lot of SPWs. And that's going to work even better because they're all at double vet for free, basically. I don't think they're locked double vet, but I definitely want to take them with that. So in recon we do have the Aufklärung, and we have the SPW 231 with the autocannon, SPW 233. With the 75mm, and then the Pumas in A phase, all of them at a nice double vet. He brings even more light down with the SDK set to 50/9 in B phase, and some Aufklärung Panther Ds in B phase as well. Infantry tab, again, a nice double vet there. We have Pioneers in A phase and Panzergrens in A phase as well. One of them at single vet, interesting choice. So one of the Panzerfaust. Leader, of course, and then in B phase, we just have a Sturm Pioneer, Volksdeutsche, and in C phase, Panzergren, Panzerfaust again. I'm surprised about the Volksdeutsche. You know, it's Maverick, he has the income, he could afford Panzergrens. Now, of course, the Volksdeutsche do have better availability, but honestly, if you just take the Panzergren single vet, you also have the same availability. So I don't really see a reason to take them, but I guess maybe Hypokrass will show up in the comments and explain why he chose that. Tank tab, Panzerfaust, but only in B phase. That's an interesting choice because I think Hypokrass Panthers for day, But, you know, Panzer IV can also be very important because you don't want to send in the Panther into the town. So this is where the Panzer IV, you know, some in B-phase would probably be very quite useful. So Portavi brings the Flampanzer, which I don't think is very useful. And then 3 cards of MG42s. Wow. And 2 cards of 2K, which I can very much understand. The AG-43 in A-phase and the Guerrilla in B-phase, which I think you also can't bring that one in A-phase, I'm not mistaken. A T-tab, 2 cards of Pack 40 in A-phase. Again, of course, lack of proper tanks in A-phase makes this rather necessary, but he still brings some in B-phase, and of course Panzer Rex in A-phase. 2 AA tab, relatively light in A-phase with only 1 card of 20 mils. You can bring them with the transport though, so that helps. 88 and SK 71 in B-phase at a nice double vet each as well. The artillery tab, he actually brings another leader, which I'm bit surprising, but you know, you can definitely do that. SK-18, S and 81 with mortars. 2 air tab, actually a fighter there, which I can understand in case he's afraid of the fighters or of the heavy bomber from 78 Sturm. And then of course a fighter bomber, which is quite a nice one. You have 2 sets of bombs, so you can turn one off and use the one in the next strike. Moving on to 78 Sturm. Now this one is an interesting one. It was, I think, very mid-tier. That's at least the impression I think a lot of people had. But then came, you know, the MP44 buff, the Marder buffs, and all of a sudden this division is back on the menu. Oh, 88 buff too. Don't forget about that one. Of course, Shumpai has also profited, and Big Like Rendays and all these kind of things. And all of a sudden this division is back on the menu for a lot of people. So in the recon of it, you have the Outflare and then the Panzer 30. Panzer T26, which makes sense here since, you know, you have to expect to go against light armor. It is not the best light tank, but I think it helps definitely to add a little bit of more light AT capabilities there. In the infantry tab, we do have a lot of MP44s with the Big Like and the MP Panier, both of them quite strong, as well as some Schützen, Schrumpais named B-phase. And then in B and C phase, we have an interesting choice. So we get the Sturmschützen, which is just a massive MP44 unit, whereas the Big Like and Big Like Panier at least have an MG42 as well. And so the Schützen, for those who don't know, is basically a Panzergun with, I think, 2 or 3 more men and an AT grenade instead of an AT of the Panzerfaust. Now the Sturmschützen are, I think, 30 man MP44. So it is quite good now at the range where the MP44 works well, but the problem is in having only those in C-phase, in my opinion, is a really bad mistake because you can still use them defensively, but pushing with them can be quite a bit more difficult. So I'm not really sure if this is a smart call here, but regardless of that, Espresso decides to go with that. Tank tab, Stux, you only get those. We have them in A, B, and C phase. Support tab, not that much actually. The support tab is quite big, but Espresso doesn't actually use it to its full potential. We just have Flamers, IG-18, MG42, and IG-33s. AT tab, very important in the matchup. The Panzerburst, of course, which is the light armor shredder of the game. This is the unit for that. Absolutely fantastic. Panzer Rex, Marders, of course, both in A phase too, so efficient answer to the light armor. I love to see it that way. And then we have a Pack 40 and, very importantly, 3 cards of Nashorn, all 3 of those, 1 in A, 1 in B, and 1 in C phase, but they come without vet. Now this these choices here are very important, I think, because it means that Espresso with the Nashorn, and this is why I think this division might be a little bit better up for, might be the better one of those 2 for a specific matchup. Because first of all, Espresso can start contesting 2K right away in A phase, but also, of course, he needs to win in the town. That can be tricky with all the light armor, but he has more 2K at the end of the day, and he has a cheaper 2K than Hypokrass, right? This is where this difference here matters, having a cheap Nashorn versus the more expensive Panther, and the Nashorn will kill the Panther, generally speaking. However, with the veterancy, this can of course change, so let's see if Espresso, large number of Nashorn is actually an advantage for him. A-tab, quite nice there with 88s, 37 mils, and SK-71, so nothing to complain there. Artillery tab, of course, you have a lot of Nebula that he can bring. He brings 1 card in B phase, which is really all that you need, but no artillery in A phase whatsoever, which is an interesting choice. And then the off-map, of course, for the town, very useful. Air tab, no fighters here, only recon, and then the mighty Ju-188 with the big 1,000 kilogram bomb. So this thing actually gives you some big booms. So interesting build right here. I think other than the Sturmschützen, I think it's very well adjusted to the matchup. I'm just surprised about the Sturmschützen, really. But anyway, let's go back and see what awaits us. So, starting off here, down south we do see some Panzerbursts, so multiple actually, and a Schützen. So, Espresso is very much aware of the typical rush tactics of 2nd Panzer by the looks of it. And he was right to put those there because there is SPWs and quite some infantry there on Hypokrass side. And this is not a typical place to push. Usually you try to fight heavily over this, maybe try to rush into this or that one. But this is super deep, and there's only one flag, not something that you usually pressure. But here's the thing, it often works when you try it, because usually blue doesn't put a lot there unless blue really heavily tries to break through over here. In that case, that can, of course, meet some resistance, but otherwise it's usually relatively uncontested. For the center here, a SPW pushing the open, which is a very odd choice, and just an MG42 and Pioneers defensively, so you guys put something in here to grab that flag then. JU-188 coming in for recon is actually very important against such rush divisions, because, or it can, not necessarily, but it can help a lot, because then you know where the rush is coming from, and allows you to at least adjust a little bit before you get surprised. Other than that, Marder for the open on Espresso side, another Panzer Flamers, MG, so the usual here for an opener. For the hill, we do see Panzer T26s, not a large amount of Panzer in defensive positions everywhere, and some infantry following there as well. Big light, grand, yeah, mostly big light and Sturm Deck, so things that can actually fight in this force patch there and in the town in general. We follow with some light armor and early Panzer Decks as well. So Espresso being very determined here to fight off that initial armor rush, and definitely makes sense. So usually I would hate using these Panzer Decks, all of them so early on, but in this case, it makes a lot of sense. Other than that, not a Marder in the town here, Flamers, so not a lot of sustain and pushing power here. Hypokrass on the other side actually goes in large here as well, with but not that much armor. Most early Panzer Decks too, by the way. Mostly infantry, support tools, and things like that. And with that, I think let's hit that play button and let's see what we can get here. So, of course, it's important to note that so a play like this is... So going this defensively can work super well if you can really break your opponent's push. Now, if you can't, that actually has a lot of issues. Because what's going to happen is your opponent's going to break through and you can't counter push. So if you don't manage to break your opponent's push, if you have such a defensive deployment, there's nothing, like you can't compensate for your opponent pushing massively in one area where he overwhelms you. You can't punish him for that by pushing everywhere else, because you don't have the units to do that. So this is a very much double-edged sword. It can work super well for you. It can also work very poorly for you. It really depends on the specific case, and a lot, of course, on how your opponent's going to play. This is an interesting deployment here, also with the leader so early, so far up. Down south, it looks like the SPWs are going to get in. MG42 is going to get in. Pio is going to get in. Flamer here smoked himself off. Going to keep that flag, which is huge. SPW is here pushing, but not really doing all that much. Marder's being called in to deal with that, so that's definitely going to help a lot. They can just sit here and outrange the SPWs. Although these are now in, and this is not the dangerous one, but this one certainly is dangerous, as it can one-tap those Marders. Oh no, sorry, it can't one-tap, but it can pen them. Sorry. Schützen here, wasting time though. Because units are wasting time on the Schützen though, which is good for Espresso. Panzer are still here, still dangerous, can still get some kills. Flamer smoking again, nice micro there by Espresso. Up on the hill, we do see a first little clash. Flamer got a burst off from the SPW, but that is about it. Panzer is now moving into position to take care of that. No, not yet. Panzergang got in, but can't spot the Flamers. IG-33 in a very odd position here, where it covers off the main road, but not all that much else. Usually you have them like somewhere here to cover off the edge of the hill. Third alone for Espresso, actually, as he takes what? Oh, no, Hypokrass, sorry. No. I'm right then. Yeah, as he takes this flag here with the Pioneer. It looks like the SPW from over here has shifted down here. It looks like the other two SPWs in the meantime got killed off by the Panzer. So one of them is still alive. Marder's now killing another SPW. There's a Pack 40 that has arrived though. It's definitely threatening those Marders over here. APCR has been turned off. It's missed one shot. It had hit one. Will it get another one? It will. Taking down a Marder. Flag 43 unloaded early on. Panzer Deck now moving by foot. Not a Marder push over here, regrabbing the flag. Nice move there, but this one has fallen in the meantime. Another pack 40 coming in. Hypokrass has not noticed. The Marders can definitely take that out. Are they? Yeah, they're turning for it. This is a little bit aggressive. Oh, but Hypokrass has noticed. He has unloaded it. APCR turned off, focusing the Marder. I think that is not necessary, but it's done that either way. Misses first shot though. Maybe they can still overwhelm it in time. Oh, Panzer is going to get another hit here on the SPW. Gets pinned by the Panzergrenz though. Pack 40 still in a position to cut things off over there. One Marder in the center goes down. The other one being threatened by the Pack 40. Going to get penned once. It's going to get penned twice too. Nazor now coming in, which is maybe a bit of an overkill considering that these units are so close already. So they can't, the Nazor can't really do that much. It's just very expensive at doing what, you know, essentially the same thing as the Marder. Pack 40, you're going to get another kill here in the center. That should flip that flag, bring it back to 14-10 for Hypokrass, at least momentarily. Yeah, there we go. Up north, not much has happened. Hypokrass, by the looks of it, failed to get in here. The SPW here... No, something else might have died here. Might be wrong. I can't see it. So this one probably should just shift it over here. The smokes here are from something else. Over here, Panzergrenz still chilling there. Can't see anything. And can't really do the work. Now, this flag, of course, not falling, but telling Hypokrass that, you know, with the big... with how the front line is going to go, telling him that he could potentially push for that, as nothing's over there. Another nice one coming in. Actually, this is the position for it to be, because there's really nothing that can actually contest that. Over here, it's really dangerous for the Pack 40 as well. So that is a good move there by Espresso. Exactly what he needs to do. We do have two 20 mils now coming in, which is a bit dangerous, considering that the Nazarene is over here, but the Nazarene is not even in a position where he can, you know, I think this would be a good spot to put it, because then he can kind of start tickling, you know, the 2k range there, maybe snipe something without being threatened by the Pack 40. Also, I'm surprised that there's no recon by Espresso over here, because you definitely want to have that here now. Leader coming in on Hypokrass side. So Hypokrass is very determined to continue his pusher, which is odd. Generally speaking, I would have expected him with a push like this over here. I would definitely have expected him to just go in there, be annoying, and then give it up and push somewhere else, like over here or on the hill. But he's not doing that actually. Panzer here finding some SDKF set 251/1. Not the biggest kill, but 5 points are 5 points, you know, at the end of the day. Pania getting overwhelmed here by the Sturm Pio. Begleiter also pushing. SPW231 is trying to move up to counter, but, you know, it's not going to stand a chance against those. Flampanzer here, not really the right answer to that either. MG42 coming in a 20 mil. Really cool that we see those. Don't see them very often. I didn't actually know that you could bring the MG42s in the 20 mil cars in this division. And I haven't noticed when I talked about the deck. So, there's that. Nazorn moving in. Now into a better position now. Oh, but it's too close. Pack 40 can see that. Is he going to get a kill? Nazorn has not noticed it. He does nothing to spot for it. Especially as the MG42 died. Got penned once. Pack 40 is trying it again. Lost line of sight, gets the kill before he can shoot a third time. Wow, bad losses here for Espresso all round in the south. Of course, he is breaking down some of Hypokrass' initial push, but still is applying a lot of pressure there. But now the Nazarene here has finally arrived, and he can now pressure the open. The Pack 40. There's really nothing he can do against that Nazarene. Nazarene, though, is busy shooting at... Oh, the 20 mil is not in the right spot there. Hypokrass is not paying attention to his 20 mils. And he might be paying for that. I give it a 3 for support as well. But it's probably a little bit too close. I feel like you want to put that as far back as you can. So that you can just hit anything that gets onto the hill. But what you don't want, because as it is right now, you could start, you know, sneaking up over here. Although it's still, I might still be above 1750 meter range. So it might be good. Nazarene and Marder are pushing Pack 40 out in the open. Can't really do much. It is even moving towards it. That's probably not a good idea. Focke-Wulf now coming in, going after Nazarene. That can definitely do some damage. I doubt it will kill it though. Is it turning the right way? It is. Pinning the Nazarene though. Pack 40 can now fight the Marder. Marder though already falling back after taking a pen. Wow. Not the best of engagements here. Focke-Wulf now really should fall back. I don't know why it's still targeting the Nazarene. because otherwise the Flag 43 will eventually kill, especially at double that. On the hill though, Flag has been lost, 13-11 for Espresso, or for Hypokrass still, but Espresso has started bringing it down. Oh, this IG-33 is definitely too close. This is 1500 meter range, so even, you know, you could bring two IG-18s up here on the hill and deal with that, so that is very dangerous. The IG-33 should definitely be further back. He's ground attacking though, trying to dig out whatever is in here. Love to see that. Not Pack 40 here in position again, a little bit too close for my personal taste. Puma's coming in as well. Nashorn's still alive. Pack 40 is pushing forward, but there is a recon, so they will be spotted. IG-18s are also, the Pack 40 is not spotting them, and the IG-18s are gonna be in the range very soon. So they're gonna wipe that Pack 40. Easily. Oh, I think they're in range now. Yep, there we go. First shots missed, but, you know, not gonna take long until it can actually finish it. Pack 40 is gonna picked apart by the Nashorn, and we do have Big Light Grenadier now moving in up here, as well as an MG42. So Espresso is slowly working for regaining control over there. SPW got in here in a nice position. Oh, Big Light Grenadier killed the Panzer Deck, but this thing currently not in a position where this Panzer Deck over here can do anything about it. Once Sturm has been killed. Marder versus SPW. Can SPW stress the Marder out before the Marder can kill it? No, he cannot. Panzer can really not do anything against that Marder. So that's going to suffer there. But the Pumas, on the other hand, can do something about it. It's just that, you know, this thing costs basically the same amount as the Marder. Not basically, I think it's the same price. Or it should be. Yep. But the Marder will one-tap the Puma, and the Puma will not one-tap the Marder. So, the Pacific fight not that good. Oh, Focke-Wulf tried to get in, but was forced off by the Flag 43 and killed too. Flag 43s at single vet are no joke. These things will kill, and we see that right here. JU-188 is now coming in as well. There is still two 20 mils, but even at double vet, not the best unit there is. It is enough to force it off though, so that's definitely a win. Ah, there's another 20 mil here, of course, helping too. Puma have engaged now. Currently just working with the machine guns and a Glycran, which is certainly something you can do. IG-33 is actually it has an order queued up. So as the Pioneer here regrabs the flag, this is actually problematic because the IG-33 might just kill the Pioneer eventually if Hypokrass doesn't stop this in time. Also, it's just wasting a lot of ammo. It might also run out of ammo before it can go after that Pioneer, so there's that option exists too. Pumas have now spotted the Marder. Marder is for some reason retargeting, gets killed by the Puma, so it was damaged before. Shuk now coming in to as a response to that. Guerrilla coming in the open. They can definitely deal with all those IG-18s, but the Nashorn, of course, still a problem right there. Another Focke-Wulf coming in for the hill, and there's nothing here to stop that. So everything here is bunched up, so that's going to hurt quite a bit. Ooh. Some kills, everything pinned, of course. No follow-up by Hypokrass, though. He's not actually pushing. Just an odd choice there. Flamethrower tries to push across with using smoke. Love to see that. MG42s are answering to that, but there's no AT over here. Oh, the Pack 40 in position over here, though. Not on this side, so the Marder is actually uncontested there. IG-18 outranging the MG42s and just slowly working on them. Pack 40 got a nice pen here on the Stück. Pumas could potentially do that as well. Down south, it looks like... Oh, Espresso's force here has slowly been reduced. He's lost another 20 mil. He's definitely lost the SPW a while ago. He's lost, maybe by a bombing strike, I don't know. Because there's a big boom here. The IG-33 is definitely dead. And the Pack 40s are also all dead. Another one is coming in, but it's getting a bit too close to the IG-18 for my taste. Oh, MG-42 has been falling back as it was forced off by the IG-18, and now the Sturm is moving in. The MG-42 might actually be able to end up in a position where it can fight that again. SDK sets and one coming in through the center here. Of course, it needs to protect Hypokrass push here, which is about to grab another flag. Panzergren versus Schützen, not a good fight for the Panzergren versus Schützen, is just the same thing but better at the end of the day. This thing, on the other hand, can do a lot of work here. Puma now pushing in as well. Stück is not in a position where he can actually support anything at the moment. Oh, Guerrilla is getting a bit too close. IG-18 can actually answer, and he gets a kill on the Gorilla, yeah. Hypokrass not using any recon is a major mistake there. Not a Gorilla coming in. I mean, he doesn't even need proper recon. Just, you know, some infantry up here would already do the trick, but he definitely needs something there. But he's still, you know, he's still leading at the moment. Something dealt damage to that big Lycran. Interesting. IG-18's just pushing. I love to see that somehow. And, you know, backed by Nashorns, that appears to be working. More Nashorns coming. I really don't know how Hypokrass, you know, plans on dealing with that, because like into 2K, he has the units to fight the 2K. That's not the issue. But he will just be outtraded. Like, the Nashorns are too effective. Or efficient, sorry. Empire now coming in to deal with that. I think it will also be the worst that it just put one over here just to hold that flag. But he can definitely regraph that flag there. That is realistic. Not a Gorilla coming in. He will need some 2K80 as well, though. Focke-Wulf coming in again. Or a new one, actually. Going after Nashorn once again, but the flag 43 is still there. He might lose another one, because he might be in range for this one as well. Oh, Pack 40 finds the Marder over here. Got one pen. Focke-Wulf is going to get forced off. Still, the Black 43 is going to get some good bursts off, which might be good. It's smoking. 12-12 here, by the way, as this push here actually stabilized things for Espresso, which of course is also, or who has also grabbed this flag. IG-18 goes down to the pyro. Interesting. Actually, this should tell Espresso that encirclement here is possible, as it just slowly pushes. Yeah, it's, you know, there is options for just encircling this and then push. It needs to be very careful about the Pack 40 though. So I was just checking before. It could potentially snipe the Nashorns now. Of course, the IG-18s would retaliate immediately, but still. Gorilla pushing in, probably going to prevent the loss of that flag. But the problem is now the Nashorns are there, so the Gorilla can't really actually do that much anymore. And again, Espresso does have vision, whereas Hypokrass does not. And there we go. First Gorilla is already going to get spotted and shot at. Gorillas are responding, but can't really do all that much. IG-33 is also ground attacking still, as the order to stop doing that is not yet being given. And there we go. Off map coming down on Espresso's side. Will hit most important things right here. And he has some units there to follow up, although not an awful lot. But Sturmschützen and Schützen are coming in, so he can follow. Well, just unloading them, though, so he can't just drive through and drive in. As he's been there. Panzer D now coming in. Looks like one of the Nashorns died, probably to the combined firepower of the Gorilla and the Panzer D. Because we have to remember, these things will do damage with the HE still. So, oh, Nashorn gonna get a little bit close. No, not yet, actually. The Panzer IV leader can't really do much, but it's gonna buff them up. Nice triple vet versus no vet Nashorn. So the Panzer D there actually has a better chance of, I think, hitting things now. Nashorn actually being stressed out as it gets a crew panic and is falling back. But there we go. The Panzer goes down. Another Panzer's already coming in though. IG-18 here has spotted the Pack 40. Pack 40 might actually take that out though. Oh, it's out of HE. It won't take it out. The Panzer T26C is now moving in instead. So this flag's definitely, like this whole blob here is definitely going to get encircled. Oh, there's actually leader, I forgot about that. So it's not going to get fully encircled, but, you know, the armor here will just easily dominate everything over here. And there's nothing coming in on Hypokrass' side to actually make sure that this flag doesn't get lost. Because, you know, this is letting Espresso know that he can actually build up a push over here. Which I would do if I was him. But the Gorilla Panther combo can actually be quite powerful here, as these will just apply stress onto the Nashorn, making it so that the Nashorn misses more often. There we go, we see that in action right there with the Panther's first hit, and hits again. I mean, that's what triple vet does to you. Panther needs to actually push up too, which it now does. Going after Nashorn. Nashorn is disengaging. Gorilla is already on it as well. Now Nashorn is slowly being moved over there. More infantry coming in here. This one, oh, it doesn't have any AT. Yeah. Actually needs to hide now. This flag actually is full in 13-11 for Espresso for the first time. We see a Panzer IV coming in. Again, a recon here is not all that good, although the Panzer D is definitely providing some recon. We do see another guerrilla coming in and an 88. So the fight at 2K has officially started now. And now Espresso, of course, really needs to make up some ground. He's definitely lost quite a bit of tickets. And he's lost some key NAS phones here as well, but he's plenty of them, so I'm not really sure if he's going to ever lose them. Sturm Deck, if being called in back here, I don't know about that. That seems a little bit excessive. I also don't know where he wants to push them through, really. Are those the Sturm Deck? Yeah, it was a visual bug. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I was like, wait a minute, how is that? But yeah, visual bug, they're actually going over there. We do see an SK-18 now in as well. Off-map did go down, by the way. Force Hypokrass back away. Shoots near fighting versus the Panzer and should win that. Oh, actually, no, the difference is small. Very small. But Espresso has definitely the upper hand here on the hill. He does have a... Yeah, he definitely has the major force over there, the larger force. They can definitely push back over there. Chayu 188 got in, bombed something. I have not seen what. Panzer trying to break through. That's maybe a little bit optimistic, I would say. NG42 coming in for to get in here and re-grab the flag and get into firing position over there. So I think at this point, Hypokrass definitely has the upper hand here in the center, but that can still be contested by Espresso. It's not like lost for Espresso. At the same time, we do see the opposite over here, where Espresso clearly has the upper hand, but he needs to make something out of it. He needs to make his push, because reinforcements are now already pouring in. And he needs to follow up with Stücks to support these units. Otherwise, the one Panzer IV here, and even maybe the Flam Panzer, which is now actually getting too close, otherwise could easily bully him. Actually, Sturm might be forced back by it. Yeah, they do not get to shoot. Yeah, definitely. Espresso is just... Now the Schützen is moving over here, now the Stücks are... Yeah, it's just maybe a bit late, actually. Volkswagen trying to push through here. That's an interesting but actually quite nice move. As I guess that's on one here. It's going to kill that Focke-Wulf. It's going to get that good pinning in here. But actually, no. Oh, he can't see. That's very unfortunate for Espresso. This is just in a very weird position right there. Volkswagen actually got in. Opens up on the Schützen. It will lose that fight very clearly. Very, very clearly. And then now we have a block of STKs at 250s coming, which at this point, Espresso doesn't have a lot of his Panzerburst left, especially up here on the hill. So that could actually be quite problematic. Oh, Panzer IV and Stück trade, but 2 Stücks are still here. So I would consider that a win for Espresso overall, despite, you know, the cost actually saying otherwise. Looks like, no, actually just one guerrilla died, 2 are still alive there. Panzer IV. Oh, look at that. The Panzergren actually got in. Wow, that's very impressive. Still not going to get the flank. IG-33 though in an aggressive position as well. The Panzer IV being able to support too. We do have 3 more Nasans come in, including Nigel. So the ace is going to die again. Now, actually, it might not, but, you know, aces always dies. It's a bit of a mean thing, but it also kind of feels true sometimes. Schützen here at CQC. I think the health of the Schützen here might make a difference. Sturmschützen could definitely move in and clear that out again. More Sturmschützen are actually trying to do just that. Schützen here is moving forward. Ooh, it's actually very dangerous too. It's getting close to the SK-1. Now, the SK-1 can wipe that Schützen, but it can also go the other way around. But the SK-250 over here, which just a spot of the Schützen, will wipe that, clearly. IG-23 is actually still alive. It still has quite some ammo left, so it looks like this queue there was stopped in time. Penny and Sturm tried to push in, but was stopped by the Pak 40, which is now getting wiped out by the guerrilla over there. And there we go, down it goes. 12-12, but still in favor of Hypokrass, of course. Both, I think, with the situation on the map, as Hypokrass is applying pressure over here, and he is relieving some pressure over here on the hill. And of course, again, he has more tickets at the end of the day. That's what matters here. But Espresso still actually doing a nice counter push on the hill. With the potential to really grab this flag now. So I wouldn't... Actually, it's maybe not that favorite for Hypokrass. Because once Hypokrass loses this, it's not that good. His SK18 definitely should be put to work rather sooner than later. Or Focke-Wulf's trying it again, but it's going to get in way too much. This time, I'm pretty sure it's going to die as it's going to get some bursts off by the... There we go. But flag 43, the SK-1, and the 88 as well. We do have 5 Nashorn here in the center now, and Espresso and Hypokrass made the major mistake of not actually following up on his Panzer D. I think it's just grown a bit too comfortable with him having a Panther, Gorilla, and an 88 here, which is not really the force he wanted to be. Down south we do see another push of the SDK Z250s, which, by the way, have an insanely low ammo count, so there we go. They will run out very quickly. They need to be careful not to get too close to shoots. The Marder can also do quite some damage here, by the way. Looks like the Panzer IV actually died. Maybe to it. Puma is now engaging. Ooh, there we go. Nashorn battle has begun. 3 Nashorn, an 88, and the Stück have already engaged the Panzer D, gotten a kill. And these two are the only 2 K2 left. This one being actually useless since it is out of HE. The 88 can definitely do quite some damage here, but if all the Stücks, if all the Nashorns go against that, there's not that much it can do. But, you know, it can pen it, which is a problem for Espresso, of course. And it still has plenty of ammo. It is triple star, so it should actually hit those shots. There we go, 1 Nashorn goes down. So this, you know, this is a scenario where you definitely want your 88 to find some armor, because this is a scenario where you can realistically kill it. Because otherwise, very often when you go against like Panthers and things like that, it is not going to be the case. Oh, he was stopped by the 88 before he could drop the bomb. So very lucky there for Hypokrass, very unlucky there for Espresso. And of course, I think the 20 mil here did contribute to that too. Now, the J180 is not going to die. It's not even close. It's not realistic. Nashorn actually, going for some flanking shots on that push here. I think this push actually has worked very well here for Hypokrass. Not necessarily because he has, you know, he's in such a commanding position because of it, but because Espresso has definitely spent quite a few resources trying to grab that back from here, which, you know, is probably what you would think is the best way to do. But instead, you know, he could have probably just pushed this and kind of ignored that for a while. But he has grabbed the hill here more or less now. What he still needs to do is actually push for the forward. The big light here is at 1 health. Let's put on return pad just to hold the flank. I can understand that. It would be much better for Espresso, of course, to push through here. But I can understand why he doesn't want to do... Why he doesn't want to risk that. Because he doesn't actually know what's in there. QPC. Problem is, with these units pushing in, Hypokrass can take that back eventually. SK18, oh, actually going after the Pack 40 over here. Which is now, I think, a bit of a misuse by Hypokrass, because this Pack 40 here, yeah, it's preventing reinforcements from getting in, but first of all, there's an IG-33 over here to deal with that problem anyway, and on top of that, what, you know, like, it's not like he's going to push over here, like, he's not going to continue pushing there anyway. That was never really a thing. Maybe he hoped to, you know, lock down the spawn, but you should never really focus on that. Sometimes you can do it, you know, and then of course you should take advantage of that. But most of the time, it is just not really realistic that you are going to be able to do that. So don't even plan for that. And rather push somewhere else. I think this is a very important area for Hypokrass to fight over if he wants to continue applying pressure, which he should. Of course, he's in a good position. He has the lead, but he still needs to apply enough pressure to force Espresso to actually react to things on the map. And make sure that Espresso can't just do whatever Espresso wants to do. Because at that point, Espresso might as well just take back the whole game. There we go, 30-11 for Espresso as he retakes his flag over here. Nashorn Blob is engaged by the pack by the 88. Now it's actually engaging the 88. One of them is already dying. The other two get some hits in though. Of course, the reason why the 88 is not the weapon of Doom at 2k is that it doesn't get the same bonus that some of the AT guns get, where they get increased stress resistance when they get shot at by armor. Oh, the it is gonna 1v3 that fight. Ooh, that hurts. It's gonna kill the remaining Nasa one. It does! Wow, it's really gonna 1v3 that fight. There we go. Huge kill there by Hypokrass, and Espresso is gonna pay for not having brought in the IG-33 in time to deal with that. And Hypokrass brings out the next Grille. I mean, Hypokrass has plenty of 2k AG. That is, I think, Espresso's issue. Now, Espresso's, you know, plenty of 2k AG, so it's not the end of the day, but the 188 here has actually shown that, you know, things might not be as easy as it looked like when we just looked at the deck initially. Because, of course, you know, I didn't really factor that in when... Oh, but it gets wiped out by the IG-33 in one hit. There we go. That's the retaliation from Espresso. The question is just, is it going to be enough? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, it's a good kill. It's going to open this up again for Espresso. And he still has the last one and the IG-33. So that is definitely true. But he has lost so many points. That matters too, especially since Espresso is, at the moment, the one who needs to do a counter push, right? Espresso is the player out of those two who needs to apply pressure, who needs to make plays, who needs to get ground. Oh, the big Lycran has pushed in. Looks like the MG42 has been killed off. It could definitely move on and kill that Pack 40, but he's not trying to do that yet. Oh, Slutsk gets penned by the Panzer 4. Slutsk takes out the Panzer 4 though. As you guys said, might be able to stress out the Slutsk, but I think the Slutsk will get the kill before that. There we go. Panzer 4 coming in as well, as the Slutsk is still aiming at the SKZ-1, is now re-aiming, but the Panzer 4 is going to get the first shot off, get the kill on the Slutsk. SKZ-1 here needs to be very careful. He's actually very much endangered over here. You see a nice move here by the Slutsk, trying to get into a position where he can... Oh, SKZ-250 could potentially get some sideshot bursts off here. But that's a very cursed interaction. I think the Slutsk is going to shoot first. And it's going to get the kill. Now the Pack 40 still is, so the Slutsk can't just move in and do whatever it wants, because otherwise the IG-33 over there would have definitely been threatened. More SKZ-250 is moving in. Hypokrass not giving up on his light armor so quickly. Schützen trying to push back over here. Get that Pack 40. But we see fighting is still happening on over here. So I really do think that, of course, a lot of action happened over here and in the center and whatnot, and that definitely had an influence, especially, you know, those big 2k fights over here. They, you know, I think they were very decisive. Nonetheless, though, I feel like this initial pusher by Hypokrass is still kind of dominating the game to some extent, as we've seen a lot of players going that direction. I mean, the NASA one's pushing like so aggressively over here is what I think actually even enabled Hypokrass to get the kill there with his 88. I'm not so sure if Espresso would otherwise have engaged that 88 head on. But since it was already there, and the engagement might have already been happening. Oh no, Lycran gets spotted by the SKZ-250 now and gets taken out before, without having any chance of taking out that Pack 40. That would have been such a huge play, but I think Espresso just... I mean, you know, the Lycran was not going to get that flag anyway, so I think at that point you just want to commit to fighting whatever is there, assuming that it's not CQC probably, since it's very obviously not in the center of the forest. But yeah, that's a major lost opportunity right there. Though still, the center is very pushable. Hypokrass should be telling Espresso there's not that much here on Hypokrass' side. So Nasons and the IG-33 could push forward and maybe, you know, open up another front line over here, because there's really not that much here by Hypokrass. Like, I see 3 flags here that are realistically grabbable for Espresso if he decides to push them. And he can open that, he can continue with maybe that one too, actually. Meanwhile, Hypokrass over here is pushing, but it's not like he's going to get a lot here. There's definitely a lot of potential here, but there's still quite some forces here by Espresso, so it's not like he can just walk in and get it. He still needs to work for that. He doesn't have a major pushing force there. So I think Espresso is just sleeping here in the center a little bit. Okay, that may be a little bit strongly worded, but I think the point comes across. There's definitely, like, Hypokrass needs to push this. Espresso needs to push this. He also needs to be careful, of course, here against the Grille, because that one can wipe beside IG-33. That's one should start pushing on. I need to be careful that they're not going to get too close to the Panzer 4 there, because otherwise, of course, that could kill those Nasons as well. SKZ-1 is on the run now. Wiping the 250 nonetheless. Slutsk here, trying to save day. not all that much. Shortridge is now coming in. It's possible that Espresso is running low on his regular Schützen now, which of course would be really bad, because that means he can fight, you know, defensively over here, but pushing power is going to be a whole other thing, which is going to be mentioned. Oh, the Pack 40 has line of sight on the SK-7-1 over here. Oh no, and it's going to get the kill now. The Edge-43 has line of, or has spotted the Pack 40 now. Might actually kill the Panzer in addition as well. Oh no, Pack 40 falling back in time actually makes it the Edge-43 lose line of sight. J188 is going to go in. Oh, after the ammo. Nicely spotted there. The SK-18 is away from it though, so it's not going to take it with it. I spotted it with the J188. Recon one. I was wondering, like, how can he be that accurate? But that makes a lot more sense now. He might have been able to actually target it more like over here and hit both of them at once, but I would not want to risk that maybe. Now, yeah, taking out the ammo is actually huge here, I think. Especially, you know, so if you see that specific ammo track, you could probably come to the conclusion that your opponent actually has his ammo with his artillery and no separate ammo. So with that in mind, it definitely makes sense to target the ammo. Now, other than that, it also very often makes sense to target the ammo, because that is usually what you run out of first. However, if there's just one artillery piece, it's better to target the artillery piece, since that is more expensive to replace, and your opponent's not going to run out of ammo anyway. Oh, there we go. Panzer IV engaging the Nashorns. Panzer IV is actually running, which is not the right call here, because it will not get out of line of sight anyway, or out of range anyway in time. But it might as well be able to, you know, take one with it. Actually, if they all continue missing, it might get out. Nope, he does not. 12-12 once again, but again, Espresso is down in tickets quite far. 33 now ground attacking over there. It's definitely an option. Oh, never mind, there's still some shoots left. I'm surprised about this, and not much has changed here. There has been some fighting. I've seen some fires burning here. Some units that used to be there are not there anymore, but like, all things considered, there's not that much that happened there. Also, I'm actually wondering what killed the SK-7-1 over here on the Hypokrass side. Did he push that up too far over here? Because something has clearly happened to it. But either way, I'm surprised that we don't see a continuation of this push here by Espresso. I think this is where he has the best chances of actually getting something now. He's not going for it though. It's very quiet in general. Surprised that we don't see any reinforcements coming in for Espresso at all. He's running low on things. Also, artillery, actually, that would have been very useful early on, like over here. Just bring artillery to deal with that. Completely forgot about that. Oh, now he's actually trying to make a push over here, which is definitely smart. Maybe a little bit too aggressive, since full storage is still here, and he doesn't know what's over here, and in here. But I like the play. He's actually going... Okay, this is maybe not what he intended, but this is definitely intended to push in there. It's a good move right there. MG42 is probably going to stop that, at least partially. Panzer A now coming in for the center, but versus 2 Nashorns, 3 Nashorns. I'm not so sure if that is actually going to work super well. Shrug now coming in up north as well. We don't see an awful lot of armor on Hypokrass side, actually. The 2 Panzer IVs are basically it over there, and then he has 2 Panthers. That's it. That's not ideal, actually. 233 is now ground attacking, but it's going to get shelled by the SK-18. So Hypokrass probably will rather want to move them away. Now, if this thing is pinned, it's going to run. So that is definitely not good news for Hypokrass. Or he's moving them... Okay, he's moving them on his... Moving them manually anyway. Because now they reveal themselves, so they can't waste any time there. Oh, no. Nothing gets unloaded here. Infantry still gets past. Actually, actually sitting in the middle of the road, delaying the units there a little bit. It's funny. The 120mm here is still alive, surprisingly. Oh, this one might get unloaded? No, it does not. Another flag flip, 13-11 for Espresso, but he now, I think he needs a 13-11 now, though. 15-9 now. I think the 13-11 is not going to do what he had for just a brief moment, but the Panzer A coming in here flips that once again. Not a Guerrilla coming in. At this point, I think the Guerrilla is really just good for, like, the thing it really just does well at this point, I think, is just add some stress onto the Nashorn so that they miss more often. I think that's about all they do at that point. SKT now going after the Stück over there. It is in... No, it is not within radio range. Because otherwise you could definitely delete the Stück. It can still kill it eventually. 59 actually for Espresso. It's happening. It is happening. He's pushing with Sturmschützen here, encircled that. Got 2 flags, but Panzergren's moving in and can prevent that again. So I guess we're not going to see more than the 15-10. Also, we don't see a follow-up to really secure this off, so the Puma in here can already do a lot of damage. Although the Nashorn, no, the Nashorn can block that. So, but this flag is not going to get. He needs another flag somewhere. He needs to start pushing over here, moving, because the SK-18 is going to slowly grind him down over there. Definitely do see more armor in the towns now. So I'm not so sure. Yeah, that could again be an indicator for Espresso running low on infantry, at least running low on real range infantry. But again, I might be wrong. Panzer A has, in the meantime, being shifted over here. So 2 Panzer both at double wet. Well, one's going to be at triple wet. I can actually be quite a good fight against the Nashorns, because they should definitely hit way more often. If the Nashorn has to retarget now, it's actually also good for Hypokrass. No, it's going to take out the Guerrilla though. Oh, he doesn't spot the Panzers, and the Panzers spot. Oh no, now the Nashorn spot them, but only 2 of them. The other one is not engaged yet. You also need to be careful. The Puma over here can definitely sneak over here and deal with those Nashorns. Marder, though, has been engaging there too. Leader has died here, so it's only these now. They're still there. Oh, Nashorn got a pen. Or Nashorn got pens, sorry. Panther, not yet. This Nashorn's probably going to be next as the Panther's re-engaged now. They actually can't see that one. Sturm might be able to see that one. What do they see? Hypokrass sees pretty much only the Nashorn. Espresso sees the Panthers. One of the Nashorns has died. The other one can't decide what to shoot and goes down before he can do anything. Are there more Nashorns to be called in? No AA, and the J188 is going after this. It's trying to clear that out now. Oh, Sturm tries to push forward but gets stopped by the Panthers. Another 88 coming in. The problem is the 88 really will struggle against the Panthers. Nashorn trying to engage the Panther A leader. IDV3 trying to do what the Guerrilla tried to do before that. Failing at it though. Nashorn are gonna get a pen there, but so did the Panther A. And the problem is the Panther A is actually faster at reloading with the double vet. There we go. Ooh, nice kill there by Hypokrass, taking out that Marder, which did take out the, what's it called? The Puma. Sturmschützen also not... Yeah, they just can't shoot at the Pack 40 at that distance. The Panzer A will do its part of stopping those before they get in range. Sturmschützen got forced off by the Panzergren from a distance. Bring this flag back to Hypokrass. There's still 13 for Espresso, but he's going to start struggling now. Quite heavily. And the Sturmschützen coming in the open, so I think he's really running out of Schützen, or has already run out. Sturmfire here as well. Schützen gonna get a bit too close. Stück needs to turn. Oh no, I think it spotted the Panzer IV. No, it didn't spot the Panzer IV. It has spotted the Sturm Pioneer, and the Panzer IV is gonna get a side shot, wipe it out. Sturmfire in the meantime winning against the Schützen. Oh no, that's horrible. Panzergren here is gonna get into Bazooka or Panzerfaust range with the line of sight over there. Should get a pen on the Panzer IV, but there we go. Panzer Grenadier takes it out. Begleitpioneer trying to take out the Panzer in the meantime. Sturmschützen can definitely do that, but nothing is here to deal with that Panzer IV. Things going horribly wrong for Espresso, and not really sure how he's going to take the initiative back. The Panthers here still alive, still shredding, still dominating, still being annoying, and now he's re-engaging to finally finish off that poor Nashorn right there. Which gets another pen on another Panzer, but finally goes down. So both Panzers have been penned once, but none of them has died. And all of a sudden, pretty much the whole 2K hold here has died off. Because, I mean, this thing, while still being here, does not really apply that much pressure. Neither does the 88. Another Nashorn would be needed here. Infantry here is pushing forward. Oh, Sturmschützen might actually win against the Panzergren here if it reloads in time. No, it gets wiped out before that cover difference really making the difference over there. Now still 14-10 for Espresso as he pushes forward. He's actually moved in here with Sturmschützen and Sturm Pioneer. Might take that flag, but he's a little bit too late. He would have needed that maybe a bit earlier when he could have gotten a 15-9. Now he's actually pushing forward the pack forward in the edge of the fleet. This is a sign of desperation for sure. This means he doesn't really have the tools anymore that he needs to do any strong pushes anywhere. So it's about the best he can do at this point, which is not good enough, honestly. It's going to get him a flag, but the problem is he's down some flags again. Sturmschützen is trying to push forward, but gets surrounded. Might get a kill on the Panzer 4 here, actually. The half-tracks can actually not respond here, so that would be great. Then he can move over here and kill the Panzergren. That will maybe open up 2 more flags. Oh, but Espresso, Hypokrass noticed, is moving his Panzer 4 away, and the Sturmschützen get pinned. Oof. And we see once again, I think the SK-18 still being alive here is massive. Killing that would have been a way better target for Espresso. Him not getting a kill on that, I think, was really punching. Oh, 88 did take out the Panther leader by like the regular Panther A still alive though. More Panzer 4s come in, or Sturmpire coming in. Pack 40 was pushed off. The Edge 53 is now trying to turn into the Panzergren and or towards Panzergren and shoot back. It's suffering from hill pressure though, so not really anything can do right there. We had a 59 for a brief moment, but there it's gone again. Pack 40 coming in. So I think that's all the nice ones gone then. Otherwise we probably would see more. More Sturmschützen coming in. Yeah, he's definitely out of Schützen. This is why I'm not a huge fan of having just Sturmschützen in sea phase. Like, yeah, it's useful for defense in town and such, but it just, you're so restricted to a few areas, you lack offensive power. There's just so many things you can't do with that. Oh, Sturmpire might get wiped out here by the RG-33, and it does. Panzer A has been pushing a little bit far here. He doesn't have any recons, so the Pack 40 might actually have a chance of getting in, but not if he tries to get in that close. 16-8. For Espresso, if he can hold that, no, it's probably not going to be enough. Like halfway is probably around here. I think it's too late. It is too late for him. He will need an 18-6, which, you know, 17-7 now that we're speaking of, it might actually happen. If he's going to get that flag too, that's going to be the 18-6. There we go. Stück 3 pushing forward against the Panzer 4. Panzer 4 is going to get a shot off, but, you know, Sturmschützen and another Stück are pushing. Ooh, 18-6. With a very weird hold here, but nothing moving in there to stop that. It would be so easy, just any infantry coming in here, being able to stop that. Not a counter push over here. If some of these get in here and the Volkswirtschaft cannot, you know, reflip the front line, that might actually be a win there for Espresso. If he gets another flag, he needs all the flags he can get. That's huge. Now, this is actually very dangerous. The Sturmschützen needs to kill this ASAP, otherwise this bubble here will collapse. But with this being open right here, he might actually be able to maintain that. Oh no, he's lost that again. He's regained it. 19-5 now. Hypokrass about to collapse. I would not have expected that, especially with his dominant position in the center, but the Panther just could not hold up here. Oh no, Sturmpire gets a kill on the Sturmschützen. That is massive. Yeah, at this point, maybe going this way would have been better because this bubble is still holding, but not for long probably. As with this flag be flipping back. There we go, 17-7. Fifth, the 18-6 has gone. That is absolutely devastating. He really needed that. He really needed that. It's pushing in again, so maybe there's still a chance, but ooh, yeah, halfway could be somewhere over here. Maybe still. No, now it's 3.5 minutes. It's still not enough. He needs that again. He needs that 18-6 again. But he was stopped here as a unit tied to the SPW-233, which is now out of HE shell. So any infantry here cannot be dealt with by the SPW-233 over there anymore, but MG42 and Pulse Searcher will definitely outrange these units and deal the damage there. Sturmschützen is not the right unit there to do it. 15-9 as Hypokrass is slowly stabilizing, and Espresso's choice of having Sturmschützen in C phase over Schützen is punishing him severely. The 188 can definitely come in and do some more work. All the Sturmschützen that pushed here did not kill the Panther A over there. It's such a nice turnaround by Espresso, and it would definitely be a well-deserved win, but it just took him way too long, and I think he wasted too many units while trying to get that back. Yeah. Oh, Panzer, he dies to the bombing run. The previously done damage definitely matters here. These flags might flip again, but again, I don't... Oh, no, with the units dying here. Hypokrass deployed them too close. These two flaps flipping again might bring the 18-6. Maybe maybe it's kind of still happening, but he would need to do that now, and then he would have his basically 2 minutes left to win. So I don't know. This one is being secured again. This one is not secured yet. He needs to push all of the units forward, which is doing, but it might just not be enough. I don't think it's going to be enough actually. I really don't think this one would need to move over here now for sure. Well, he also needs to deal with that somehow, so I'm not really sure how he's going to do that. And this flag has been re-grabbed, and nothing here to deal with that Panzer IV and SDKF set over there. Oof. Desperate plays come here, and more units to fill the gap. So Hypokrass is not done yet. He still has some aces left up his sleeve. Another Puma coming in, another Panzergren. 18-6 again. Do we see it? We do see it. We do see it. What a game. And, you know, if he actually could have a chance to grab this, he would be back and get... Oh, Panzerbuchse prevents this flag from being lost. But again, there's another flag that needs to be grabbed as... what did he lose again now? Oh, this one. He had that previously. Yeah, it's not going to happen anymore. It is not going to happen anymore. I was not rooting for anyone, but, you know, seeing this turnaround, in the end, I was definitely rooting for Espresso. Just because, like, come on. So close. You want to see it happening, you know. You want to see the miraculous turnaround. Everyone wants to see that. But we're not going to get to see that by the looks of it. As there's less than a minute left on the clock, and Espresso is just running out of time here. There's nothing you can do at this point. There's nothing you can do at this point. And it's going to be so close nonetheless. I mean, look at that. Look at that. A little bit earlier, or having the 18-6 a little bit longer would have made a difference. Really, if that Sturmschützen that lost to the Pyre here was actually not fighting through the houses, but next to them, he might have gotten that win there. 49 minutes, 58 seconds. What an amazing ending, but just not quite enough. And if you look at the trades, Espresso was actually out trading Hypokrass now, not by a lot. It's about 300 points, which, you know, is still noticeable as there are so few units on the map. But it is also not that super massive. But I think definitely Hypokrass got some very good trades in there earlier on at the start when he killed those martyrs, later on when he got the kills on those all those nashorns. But after that point, you know, there's definitely... Espresso has had very good moments in there too. And we've witnessed those, right? On the hill, I think Espresso got some very good trades out in there. And those definitely made quite a difference there. But it just wasn't enough and wasn't quickly enough. But again, as I said, I think taking the Sturmschützen in Seaface is really what was the final nail in the coffin for Espresso. But, you know, maybe there's some things that couldn't have worked out if he hadn't taken them, and we kind of missed that because we took it for granted. So there's definitely options there as well. Actually, never mind. Actually, Espresso got the better trades at the start. It's just that he couldn't really profit from it. Yeah, look at that. Oh, actually, yeah, look at that. He dominated the first 10 minutes. It's just that Hypokrass managed to, or Espresso couldn't profit from it because, as we talked about, his deployment was too defensive. He couldn't counter push because of that. But I mean, this is devastating. Actually, it didn't look like that, or I didn't feel that when we watched, but it definitely was. And then going on, we do see some more good trades actually for Espresso. It just continues on, and then Hypokrass kind of comes back, but the trades are still not all that great. Actually, wow, okay, it looks very blue here. Actually quite surprising too. It really doesn't look like Hypokrass got good trades at all, but if you look at the stats, it's really not that bad actually. In terms of kills, Hypokrass got some good early kills with the Panzergren. Like, okay, it's Panzerbuchse. Yeah, it's not really surprising. The Pack 40s, of course, they could work for him. Right? Oh, okay. Yeah, it just doesn't show up, you know, consecutively. It is maybe why it's probably a little bit misleading. Sorry, wrong side. IG-33. Did not an awful lot of work. That was the one down south. This was the one up north. This one is kind of meh. But it got him a flak back, so, you know, can't complain about that. MG42, Panzergrenz, Gorilla, of course. This Gorilla did really do quite a bit of work. The Panthers as well, of course. Yeah, they definitely perform. I mean, the veterancy really matters. That makes a huge difference. The fact that all the Nassans were no vet and all the Panthers were double, if not triple vet, depending on if the leader was next to them or not, that made a huge difference. Look at that 88. That is the Nashorn killer. That's like, you know, that thing went onto Safari. Absolutely. Oh, actually, no, you don't kill these, I think, but it's more like a poacher. But nonetheless, killed 4 nice ones, including the, Aces always dies. That's just how it is. Other than that, we do have Panther A. Yeah, look at that thing shredding too. Some SPWs and STKF sets as well. On the other side, the Martyrs really did exceptionally well. I have not noticed that, but look at that thing go. Wow. Not a Martyr. Look at that dominating. So I think overall, Espresso got his value out of those. Not a Martyr here. The J188, look at that thing perform too. That got so many kills. I've not even noticed how much kills were stacked up on that one unit. Off-map actually got some good kills. Stück here as well. Some more Schützen doing very well here. Another 88. Oh, killing 2 Panthers actually. Kind of missed that too. Nassau, another IG-33 doing well. Stück's doing well. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of good kills. Was a lot of good kills. Just not enough pushing power at the end of the day. But anyway, this was a very exciting game. I hope for you as well. And yeah, thanks for watching. Have a great day and see you all in the next one.